Good morning. It has been raining all night, and we are due to get a significant amount of rain this morning or sometime today. It's not raining right now, but you can hear the birds chirping. It is, let's see, what time is it? It is 6:38 in the morning, and I'm not going out into the garden right now because I have something to do in the kitchen. I am going to be canning this morning. And I'm going to take you along because I don't remember if I've canned with you the full process, all the steps of canning pineapple. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know that I've been going to the produce market regularly. And I picked up a couple of things. And today is pineapple processing day. So if you'd like to go into my kitchen and process pineapple with me, stay tuned. But first, I think I'm going to have a cup of chicory root coffee, maybe sit outside, maybe sit on the front porch. I don't know, but it's nice and humid out. The birds are chirping. Of course, the crickets are cricking and making all kind of noise. And I'm just not ready yet. So stay tuned. The canner is on the stove and ready to go. It has water in it. It has not been turned on. Canning tools are ready. My jars have been cleaned, and I have everything out that I feel I will need in order to get my fruit into my jars and my jars into the canner. I will need to clean up some lids. That's the one thing I did not, looks like I did not bring out any new lids, so let me get that. These are my very ripe pineapple. They've been sitting in the house for about 4 days, 4 or 5 days. They were all the way green when I got them, and I've already cut up 3 of them, gotten them in the refrigerator for fresh eating and juicing. I gave, I want to say 3 away to my sister, and I have these 3 left that I'm going to process and get them in some jars and on the shelf. Last but certainly not least, the skins of the pineapples have been cleaned. I've been cutting the skins, getting them in this pot, and I'm going to turn these skins into pineapple juice that I'm going to put in the freezer in freezer bags. What I mean by that is ice cube trays. I actually have some freezer bags that are ice cube. Let me show you. They don't sell them in the United States, but here is what I'm talking about. This is a product that was purchased in Norway, and these are plastic ice cube freezer bags for those who don't have ice cube making refrigerators or ice cube trays. Let me show you what it looks like. This bag doesn't look like much of anything. It's just a plastic bag with a little slit in the top right in here. And what you do is you pour your liquid in this opening right here, and it fills up these little square compartments. I hope you can see them. These little square compartments are filled up, and they make individual little ice cubes. I don't believe you can purchase this product anywhere in the United States, but when I lived in Norway, my spouse had picked up a couple of boxes of these because I don't believe we had it, and it's been a couple of years since I've been in Norway. I don't believe we had an ice cube maker in the refrigerator. We had a very tall refrigerator, a very small, uh, pretty tall, but very compact refrigerator. And so we had limited space. And in order to have ice cubes, we would put water in these bags and make ice cubes. So I was digging through my makeshift pantry basket, and I came across a few of these that I still had. So I'm going to take my pineapple once it's completely cooled off, and I'm going to try and pour it into these bags to make pineapple ice cubes. I do have a couple of ice cube trays, but I don't have a lot. So this will help me to also make ice cubes. So I'm going to make pineapple ice cubes with the pineapple juice that I'm going to be making also as I am canning these pineapple. I hope you all can see. I have a smaller cutting board, and what I put under my cutting board, I see people put many things under their cutting board to keep their cutting board from slipping or sliding, but I picked up many years ago some shelving. It's not paper. I don't even know what kind of material this is. It feels not quite rubbery. I'm not sure, but you can find this at Walmart and Ollie's and Target and a few other places. This is generally made to line your shelving. This particular weave material is very good for non-slip. So I just cut several pieces for all of my cutting boards, and I lay my cutting boards on top. That way my cutting boards are not slipping and sliding around anywhere when I am trying to process food. So I'm taking the very first pineapple, and if you're not used to working with, let me move this up so you all can see. If you're not used to working with fresh pineapple, it can be a little intimidating. I had a family member ask me this weekend, well, how do you cut a pineapple? Well, first and foremost, you wash the skin of your pineapple, especially if you're going to be using it. Second, you grab your pineapple. Be careful, it is pokey. You grab your pineapple and you grab your top and you twist in opposite directions to get that top off, like so. And you have to excuse me, my canner is in my way. Let me move my canner over. In opposite directions, you twist it. And this is not working out. There we go. Twist it in opposite directions, just like that. And then your top will come off. Now, I'm going to be saving all of my tops. I'm going to be peeling back my leaves. You just take them and pull them down and peel them back. I'm going to peel them right up until the green here. And then I'll place this bottom half in some soil and put them in the greenhouse, the black greenhouse, and grow these on to grow pineapple. So if you're interested, I'll show you all how to do that a little bit later. But for right now, these are going to go in the sink because right now I'm processing this pineapple. So that's how you take the top off of your pineapple. And then you just slice it like you would a pineapple that has already been processed. So what I do, and I hope you all can see, let me see if I can get a better vantage point for you. First and foremost, you start out with clean hands, clean work surface, and you take your knife. And what I do is I slice the bottom of my pineapple. This is going to go into the compost bin, so I'm going to move it off to my left. Now, if there's any darkness in the core, this is the core, you cut that out. I turn my pineapple on the opposite side. I cut the top off. Now you can also put this in your pan to use this to also help make your pineapple juice, but I won't be doing that. Those are going to go into the compost bin. I do my best to have a no waste kitchen, and so that's going to go to the compost bin. Then I turn my pineapple over. Don't forget, you must clean the skin of your pineapple if you're going to be using your pineapple in the ways I'm talking about. And I'm just going to take my knife, and I hope you all can see, and I just cut straight down just like that. And of course, you're going to have flesh on that skin. This is what's going in the pot. So I'm going to place that in the pot off to my right, and I'm going to continue on by cutting off the skin. Now, if there's any eyes left on the flesh of the pineapple, I will be cutting those off and putting those in the compost bin. But this is how you cut a fresh pineapple. And I know my family member was talking to me about the reason why they buy canned pineapple, because it's cheaper than buying fresh pineapple. Well, yes, it is cheaper, but that all depends on what you want out of the purchase that you are purchasing. Just because something is cheaper doesn't mean it's always better. And as you can see, I have the skin that I can turn into pineapple juice. I have the top and bottom that's going to go into the compost bin, which is going to ultimately feed my garden. These pieces here are going to go to feed the garden. And I just cut off the eyes and any parts of the pineapple that you don't want in your canned final product. You just go around and take those pieces off like so. And once that's done, then you begin to slice and process your pineapple just like that. You just cut those pieces off just like that. And that's how you process a fresh pineapple. Now on the bottom, you did see that bottom isn't as pretty as I would like for it to be. So I'm just going to cut that off. You just slice it off. You cut around what doesn't look good. That's all you do. You just cut around it. You cut it out. I'm going to cut that piece out because I don't like how it looks. And these chunks are going to go into, because I'm going to cut mine into chunks, they're going to go into the canner. Now this piece, I'm going to discard it because it has a little bit of darkness there. But all the other pieces are going to go into a jar and they will be canned. So I am going to take this and cut this pineapple up exactly the way you see me doing it. Again, if there are any dark pieces, you take that out. You don't want to can that. And the core is in the center. Now, I am going to cut the core out, but I am not going to put the core in the pineapple juice. I'm going to put this core right here in the center. You probably can't see it, but there's a core right there. That's usually why when you buy canned pineapple, it has a hole in the center. They cut that core out. I'm going to cut around this core and I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and I'm going to use this in the juicing that I'm doing this week. So this core is also going to be utilized. It's not going to go to waste. As I mentioned, I do my best to have a no waste or low waste kitchen. So I'm going to slice this pineapple and cut that core out. All I do, let me see if you can see what I'm doing. That's better. I hope you all can see. I'm just going to go around, and you all are away from me, so you can see my shadow. I'm trying to cut around so you all can see. I'm just going to slice down like this, and I'm going to slice that core out. I'm moving these pieces away. Just slice and get that core out. And then that core, like I said, will be used in my juicing. So here's the core, and this will be put in the refrigerator for juicing. And all the rest of this yummy pineapple will be used in the jars for chunked pineapple. And that, my friends and family, is how you cut up a pineapple. So let me finish cutting up these pineapples, and then we'll go to the next step. Now that the pineapples are cut up, making sure that your hands are clean, you take your clean jar and you place your pineapple chunks in your jar. I'm going to place it right here. Hopefully you all can see it. Trying to work them down to where you are getting them all packed in there. Not too tight, but just enough to where they are seated nicely with very few hole spaces. And I think that's about all I'm going to be able to get into this jar. Might be able to get one more right here in that corner. Just like that. Maybe one more right there. And they need to be at a 1-inch head space, like so. Can you all see that? There we go. There's an empty void right here. I want to see if I can shake my jar and get them to move down just a little bit. So that, and my hands are clean. I have washed my hands 3 times as I am working with these pineapple. And I'm just going around and trying to push pineapple into any open spaces. I want to have as much of a filled in jar as I can. There we go. And I think that's going to be it that I can put in that jar. Now that you have your pineapple in your jar, the next step is a teaspoon of store-bought lemon juice. So get that in there like that. You can use whatever lemon juice you have. And then you fill this up with plain water. I use bottled water, so let me get my bottled water. And then you put your bottled water, just plain bottled water. Now my canner is not hot, so I am using just lukewarm water that's just sitting in the house. It's just house temperature water. Now I'm going to take my debubbler. Let me get it from over here. I'm using a plastic takeaway knife. If you do not have all of what some consider to be fancy gadgets and tools, use what you have available to you. Many people go out to restaurants, drive up places, walk in, sit down places, and you can get free cutlery, free silverware. That's plastic. That's where this came from. This is a part of my canning bag, and I use it as a debubbler to show those who are watching who do not have all those fancy tools that you can use what you have. Try very hard not to use any type of metal utensil. And this has a bit of black on it, so I'm going to take that out of there. Let's see. You want to not use any metal on your jars. Now I'm going to place this to the side until I'm finished jarring up all the rest of my pineapples. Now that all of the jars have been filled, the lemon juice has been added, they have all been debubbled. It is time to wipe the rims of the jars with some white distilled vinegar to make sure that none of the pineapple has gotten on the rims, because I did not use my funnel like I was supposed to do. But sometimes when you have a lot on your mind and you're rushing, not the best way to can, but you can sometimes make sure that you clear that up by going back behind yourself and doing these steps like this, making sure that you've cleaned your lids, your rims, everything is clean, everything is wiped off. There is no residue. I'm going to wash it just one more time just to make sure, because I don't know whether or not a piece of that paper towel got into the jar and touched a piece of pineapple. There we are. And everything is clean, has been washed, and they are ready to rock and roll. Now, I have a little bit of OCD, and I like to make sure that my jars are all facing, my lids are facing, if my jars have writing, that the lids are all facing that direction where the writing is. And I miscounted, so I need to go and get one more lid. But before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and place the rings on fingertip tight. And I use one finger to hold down my lid. If I can get this on here correctly, there we go. I use my finger to hold it down, that way it's not moving around and it is positioned in a way that works best for my mind. Because if it's all catawampy, I don't like it. But if it doesn't matter to you, don't worry about it. All right, so now I'm going to go get another lid for that. But before I do, I'm just going to take my paper towel that I use to wipe my rim. I'm going to lay it over the top. I don't have any insects flying in my house, but you just never know. And I like to be very, very careful. So I'm going to place these 5 in the canner. I'm going to go get a lid for this one. I have a ring. I don't know how I miscounted. But I'm going to get a lid for that one, and then this one is going to go in the canner, and then I'll turn the canner on and start the process for processing water bath canning my pineapple. And I want to say it's 10 minutes. Let me just double check, but I want to say it's 10 minutes. So let me get my lid, double check my time, and get these. Now that I have my final lid, I can put my ring on. And these can now go into the canner. These are going to be water bath canned. They are not hot, so the canner is not hot. So I'm just placing my jars in my canner. The water has a little bit of white distilled vinegar in it. Now you can water bath can in your pressure canner. You can also steam can in your pressure canner. So that's what I'm going to be doing this morning. I am going to place my lid on my canner as if I was going to pressure can. I'm going to make sure that my canner is sitting center. The bottom base is centered on my eye. I'm going to turn my canner on, bring it up to pressure, and let it steam. Once this locking button pops up, it's going to be a full roaring steam. I'm going to let it steam for the exact time that this needs to water bath can. So that's what I'm doing today. Let me get started. It is pint-sized jars for 15 minutes, not 10 minutes. So I'm going to turn the canner on. I'm going to turn it on high. Bring this up to boil. As soon as the locking mechanism pops up and it begins to steam steadily, roaring steam, I'm going to turn my timer on for 15 minutes. That is how I'm going to steam can my pineapples in my pressure canner. You can also do this very same thing. You can water bath can in your pressure canner. If it were up to me and I was a brand new canner, I would purchase just a pressure canner because you can do more than just pressure can. You can pressure cook, you can water bath can. Excuse the noise, everybody. The trash man is going by and I have the doors open because it's cool outside this morning and I'm trying to get some fresh air throughout the house. So what I was saying was, if it were me and I was brand new to canning, I would purchase a pressure canner because you can do more than pressure can in this pressure canner. I water bath, I steam can. You can cook inside of a pressure canner and you can pressure can. This is a very universal, useful tool that if I were just now starting out, this is what I would use. So let's get started. 15 minutes have passed. It's time to get the jars out of the canner. I've also let it sit for an additional 5 minutes, so let me get them on the counter. It is a busy canning day in my kitchen this morning. I am pulling the jars out of the canner and placing them on my canning mat very carefully, like so. As you can see, I already have some pickles ready to go in. Actually, no, that's relish. I have some relish ready to go into the canner. I was waiting to take these pineapples out. I did not make a video for you all on how to make relish, so I do apologize, but I will place some pictures on my community board. Kicking the tripod. I will place some pictures on my community board as well as my Instagram on the relish. My family likes chicken salad, tuna salad, egg salad, and I was low on relish, so I just needed a couple more jars of relish. I made 3 jars of relish. They're back there. They're covered up so that nothing gets in them. I need to put the brine in the jars and get them in the canner. So that'll be on my community board and my Instagram. So these are the pineapples that I just took out of the canner. As you can see, I have 6 jars of pineapples. They will sit here until tomorrow. I'll wash them up, label them, get them in the canning closet. In the back here, I have a busy kitchen all the time. I'm always doing something, dehydrating, canning, fermenting. Over here, that is bitter melon leaves. I dehydrated. I need to get some more out of the garden, but it's been raining. Over here, right there, these are some pickles that I have been fermenting for several days. They're almost done. And the jar right next to it are some cucumbers that I am turning into fermented pickles. I just did that this morning. I had about 3 bags of cucumbers I needed to process, and so those are in there. I need to go out into the garden and get some grape leaves to put some grape leaves on the top. If you do not know the benefit of putting grape leaves in your on top of your fermented foods, I'll put some information in the description box below for you. But that is all I'm bringing to you this morning. I still have the pineapple boiling on the stove, making the pineapple juice. But that's all I have for you today, you all. It has been a busy morning this morning. I'm trying to get it in because there's always something that needs to be done to prepare my household so that way when the winter comes, I'm not going out in them streets trying to get anything. I'm not looking for something on the shelves that may or may not be there, because right now I'm already preparing my household to have what we need so that I don't have to go anywhere to try to look for any of it. So I want to thank you all for joining me in the kitchen this morning. I hope this was useful, beneficial, educational to someone. If you have comments for me, please leave me a comment. Let's talk about this canning process. If you're not canning, you should be canning. There should be everybody out there trying to put up food, even if it's a little bit. This will help you stretch your dollar. I know that food is expensive, but just like me, I know you all see things out there in the grocery store that are for sale, and you probably wonder, what can I do with it? I don't have room for it. It's going to go bad. This is one of the ways you can save your dollar and let it stretch for you and your family. That way you have food for today, you have food for tomorrow, you have food for next week, next month, next year. So if you're not canning, come along with me, join me in my canning processes, and I hope to see you either in my kitchen or my food forest real soon. I've got to finish off these projects, but thank you for joining me. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. There's always something going on in Clausen World. Give me that thumbs up. Let me know you like the video. If you don't like this video, you may like the next one. So again, I hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye for now.